Now, the last girl I dated, she was only in her 20s, so needless to say we had different ideas about a lot of things. One of those things, of course, was sex. My idea was let's have it. Her idea was let's not. She said she didn't want to have sex with anyone until she was in love with them. Come on, you guys can tell, I'm fucking lovable. But she couldn't see it, I guess, so after about a month we went our separate ways. Thankfully, she was into oral sex, so the month wasn't a total loss. We did that a lot. It was a mutual thing, you know. I tried to tell her that it's better to give than to receive. It's a Christian thing to do, but she insisted I do my part as well. Normally I don't mind, I'm actually glad to do that, but that's when it's foreplay, to be followed by actual screwing. Now this just went on forever. Oh, and there was no light at the end of the tunnel, so to speak. Now I asked why we could do this to each other without being in love, but not actual intercourse. And her response was that her generation doesn't consider oral sex to really be sex. Wow. Wish our generation was around when I was in high school. I wouldn't have minded those oral exams as much. But what she says I think is true because I saw a survey on the internet. Well, actually I was Googling teen blowjobs and the survey popped up. It said that 50% of all girls between ages 15 and 19 have performed oral sex. So they weren't so sure about the other 50% because they couldn't understand them with their mouths full. Anyway, ran into a buddy of mine at the bar on my way over here. I hadn't seen him for a while, so he offered to buy me a beer. I, of course, said yes. You know, who am I to offend anyone? So we finished up our drinks, and me being a keen observer of proper bar etiquette, bought him a drink. Now, all of a sudden, it's my money being spent. Mr. Bud Light decides he's in the mood for a 12-year-old scotch on the rocks with a fucking twist. Now, I remember why I hadn't seen him in a while. Cheap bastard. But then again, maybe it's not his fault. He didn't make these bar rules. You know, things happen in bars that really don't happen anywhere else. Probably because everybody's half drunk. I know they're also half sober, but I like to say half drunk because I'm an optimist. Really, you can run into these same people at any other retail establishment, and believe me, nobody's buying anybody anything. As you're running into a buddy at the record store, hey Bill, what you got there? The new ABBA record. That's on me, man. Good to see you. That doesn't really happen because Tower Records doesn't have a happy hour, that's why. Same thing at a drugstore. Plenty of drugs, no booze. If there was, you might hear a conversation like this at the checkout line. Hey Bill, what you got there? A box of condoms. They're on me, man. Well, I was kind of hoping they'd be on me at some point in the near future, but if you insist. If you could just turn them inside out when you're done trying them on, I'd appreciate it. Well, that would be good penal hygiene. Another thing about the bars you see it, you don't see too many other places, I'll try the rest of this in English, is that the employees will tell you when they're getting off. You're having a drink at the bar, minding your own business, the bartender will come over. I'm getting off now, we're changing shifts. What the fuck are you telling me for? You need a ride home? I'm the one who's been drinking all day. I know, the desired response is for me to tip them. So here's a tip. Don't leave while I'm still doing some drinking. But please, don't feel like me. Tip everyone here this evening. Another thing about the bars is they make the bar stools so uncomfortable. You know, do they want us there or not? Well, maybe they don't want me there, but in general, they're made out of the hardest wood or metal. They hardly ever have a cushion. You know, what torture design these things? You know, it's almost as if they weren't meant to be sat in for 8 to 12 hours at a time. I even took a stool softener once before I went out, but that didn't help at all. Just spent some time on an even more uncomfortable seat. I got to read those labels a little more carefully. Oh, but whatever you do, don't take a stool softener before you go out if you had oysters for lunch, because you're going to wish you were coming, but you're just going to be going. Anyway, anybody here watch the Weather Channel? Anybody see it tonight?
No.
Oh, actually, don't tell me I'm taping it. I don't want the surprise room when I go home and watch it. Now, don't get me wrong. I don't watch the Weather Channel for the forecast because I know they can't get that right. But I like the original programming. Storm Stories. This show is for you sadists out there, and I'm sure you know who you are. It should really be titled "Watching Tragedy Strike Other People." I mean, how many times can you see a show where there's tornadoes wiping out houses and babies are flying through the air before you say to yourself, you know, why am I watching this? It's depressing. And if you're not depressed, you're probably taking a little too much Prozac. Another original show they have is It Could Happen Tomorrow.
Oh.
This cheery little show tells what would happen if, oh, I don't know, let's say a level 40 hurricane was to whip to New York City and all the devastation and destruction this would cause. And it really says, It could happen tomorrow. Tomorrow, really? I didn't see that on the 5-day forecast. You know, tomorrow, partly cloudy and mild, chance of devastating hurricane wiping out city. Sunny on Thursday. Now, if you watch this show and you take it seriously and you're upset by it, I wouldn't worry too much. I'm sure you have plenty of your Y2K rations left over. Anyway, I was driving by a school the other day and I saw this sign, speed limit, 25 miles an hour when children are present. Now, how the fuck do I know if children are present? Should I go in and take attendance? And if they are present, who decided 25 miles an hour is an acceptable speed for a child to be run over? You know, I realize 27 miles an hour, the kid could be killed, but I guess 25 miles an hour, the car just bounces off. You know, these kids are fat today, but it's gotta hurt a little. Another sign I saw by the same school said, drug-free school zone. Yeah, these kids have it pretty good. When I went to school, we used to pay for our drugs. But I guess the free drugs help when these fat children are hit by the slow-moving cars. But it's got to be tough going to school these days, I guess, because you have a lot of things happening now that just didn't happen when I was a kid. You have teachers molesting the students. I mean, okay, that's something I might have enjoyed as a child, but it's probably not for everyone. You have gang violence, school shootings. You know, these school shootings are bad enough when the students were shooting each other, but now you have adults going into the schools and shooting their children. Why don't these fucking people stay home and shoot their own kids? I know it's a little harsh, but what chance do these kids have anyway with whack jobs like these for parents?
God.
Yeah, it's got to be rough these days. I guess those wedgies I used to get freshman year really weren't so bad after all. And once I stopped wearing underwear, well, the homeroom teacher had no choice but to stop giving them to me. Anyway, I was dating a girl a while back, and I should have known it wasn't going to work out. I met her on Match.com. Bless you. And on her profile, it said her favorite hobby was reading biographies of famous people. As opposed to what? All those best-selling biographies of unknown people? But we went out a few times anyway, and one night she brought over a bottle of wine for us to have with dinner. It had a screw-off cap. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not a wine snob, but she had the nerve to ask me if I wanted to smell the cap before we drank it. I said, I don't think that's necessary. I'm pretty sure this bottle has a scratch and sniff labels. Yeah, she said she brought it over special for me in case I didn't have a corkscrew. Now, excuse me, but what kind of a functioning alcoholic would I be if I didn't have a corkscrew? I was insulted. I was even more insulted when she said she also brought over her vibrator in case I didn't have an erection. I'll have you good people know, I always have an erection. Well, don't look like this minute, sir. I don't have one right now. I found a pill that takes care of that problem. It does the exact opposite of Viagra. It's called Niagara. Let me show you how it works. Viagra rises. Niagara falls. Now I know why so many newlyweds want a honeymoon on my penis. I just hope they don't try to go over the barrel, though. It's quite a drop. Anyway, before I get out of here, let me just let you guys in on a little dating secret. If a guy takes out a girl, and the next day he tells people, you know, she was nice, but there was just no chemistry, what he really means to say is, you know, I bought her dinner, but she didn't blow me. Now, ladies, you can avoid this from happening by getting this little task out of the way on the first date. No, seriously, think about it. Some point during the first date, I don't know, maybe there's a lull in the conversation, you administer head. Well, that whole awkward first kiss moment later in the evening is going to seem like nothing. Or maybe something, I don't know. I know, you like what you think is a respectable amount of time before you do that. Let's say the third date. But by the third date, you can really start to like the guy. Isn't it better to find out on the first date if he's hung like a Ken doll? Just trying to save you some time. I know if he's hung like a Ken doll, it doesn't matter because why? Size doesn't matter. You ever notice the girls think size doesn't matter? Only think guys who use a hula hoop for a cock ring? On that note, I got to try to get to the hula hoop store before they close. Thank you very much. You've been great.